Hello and welcome to another Guardian of Wilt-Shire video. I'm your host Dewi and this is my hobby vlog number 16, I think it is. And here we are with Aragorn. So as you will have seen in the last one, I finished up Legolas, which I'm really happy that I've got one done, because like I said, I didn't actually have a Legolas painted. And now we're on to Aragorn. So this time, so far, I've done his green cloak in pretty much exactly the same way as I did Legolas's, which was Caliban green with a Bealtan green shade, and then a War flesh highlight, and also recess shaded with Nuln Oil. This is kind of the first time I've really done it, and it does provide more depth. You can't quite see it because the light in my room's a bit strange because I have a big bay window and I'm watching Speak Friendly Question. But it gives a nice depth and detail to the cloak itself. And then I so far have done Mornfang Brown on the main jacket, and then Steel Legion Drab for the kind of under his kind of leather trousers. That's the same on both models. That's it so far. Aragorn's cape on the mounted model, as he doesn't have it on the foot one, is going to be the same as Legolas's with the kind of the grey, the I think it's Eshin grey, and then Mechanicus standard and a bit of Administratum at the end. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on with him. I think the next stage is to do the boots in a Rhinox hide, and then I'm going to wash all the brown with Agrax Earthshade. So we'll come back when that's all finished. So the next stage was to highlight up the main tunic with Mornfang brown again. The Steel Legion Drab on the kind of trousery bits on the knee, you can see there. I washed with Nuln Oil on top of the Agrax wash. I also recessed washed the tunic with Nuln Oil just on the main bits, you can see kind of in the middle. Yeah. Just to kind of get a bit more of an edge. Everything had an Agrax shade on before, and I just used a bit of corn red with a bit of Nuln Oil wash on the little like neckerchief underneath. So the next stage is the skin, and the kind of greaves on his gauntlet things, kind of on his arms, which I think I'll do in kind of an Eshin grey or Storm Vermin fur. Storm Vermin fur, I think. So that'll be the next stage. And it's exactly the same as the mountain model. The boots got a little Tyrant Skull dry brush before the wash, which I think works quite well, if I can show you. Just to bring out the edges on the boot. So, a little jump on, and you will have seen that Aragorn is basically done, and it's just his horse to do. So I'll just run you through it a little bit more from what I can think. The skin is just Reikland Flesh Shade. No, Kislev Flesh, Reikland Flesh Shade, and then Kislev Flesh highlights again. The sword is Runefang Steel, Nuln Oil Gloss, and then dry brush of Stormhurst Silver. His hair is Rhinox Hide with Tyrant Skull dry brush, and then 2 coats of Agrax Earthshade, just to kind of dumb it down a bit. The greaves are Storm Vermin Fur with Nuln Oil wash. And that's about it, I think, on him. His cloak on this one is very simply Mechanicus Standard Grey with a Nuln Oil wash, Mechanicus Standard Grey again, a recess shade, just to try and get a little bit more definition, then Dawnstone, another Nuln Oil wash over that, and finally Administratum Grey, just kind of edge highlighting. And the horse is simply Mornfang Brown at the moment. I'm going to wash it in Seraphim Sepia and see how it looks. It might be another Agrax wash after that. Not entirely sure, but I'm definitely going to recess shade it because that's what I'm going to try and do on all my horses. Because then you get a bit more definition, especially with the white horses. So that's him so far. This one coming along a lot quicker than Legolas, primarily because I got a bit more time to myself, and he has a lot less colours than Legolas. So he's coming up and away, and hopefully I will be able to get the majority of Gandalf done across the next week and a half. And so I'll bring you up to date. Toss him into the light. And this is Aragorn done. I'll try and explain what I've done. The horse's hair has been painted with Mournfang Brown, then a Seraphim Sepia wash, an Agrax Earthshade Recess wash, so just where like the muscles meet along here, and I did the tail and the mane. The tail and the mane then got a Nuln Oil wash, so it's that slightly different colour. The reins are simply Rhinox Hide, the silver is simply Runefang Steel, the eyes are Abaddon Black and then White Scar, just if it will focus. Maybe not. There we are. The teeth are of Shabty Bone and then Agrax Earthshade Wash. I simply have to paint the hooves black, and he is all finished. So that is 2 of the heroes I wanted to get done over this 3 weeks. I've got Gandalf foot mounted and Gimli to do. I'm gonna start Gandalf next, and hopefully that'll be a relatively quick paint job. I want to try and make it look really decent with watered down washes, or Lamy, like kind of a Lamy medium mix with washes, to try and get into all the recesses on the white cloaks and the horse and all of that. So there'll be a challenge, but hopefully really good. Just got a bit of rubbish on my desk. But yeah, I hope you like how these have gone so far. I'm waiting to do all of them and then base them all up. I would normally do the bases first, but as I thought they were running across Rohan and the poses themselves lend themselves to being able to done slightly afterwards, even with flocking. I'm going to try and tilt them to flock them, and obviously just rotate them around so the flock's all on end. So yeah, I'm going to finish up for tonight and then get cracking on Gandalf tomorrow. So this might look a little bit strange, but watching Damien's hobby vlogs from the GBHL with his Saruman and looking at the Return of the King book, I've decided to do a base coat of brown underneath the kind of creamy white of Gandalf's cloak. And this is a first for me. It's just Mournfang Brown. I'm trying it out purely to see what will happen. And then I'll probably use some like Seraphim Sepia washes over the Shabty Bone. Or maybe some Raken Flesh Shade. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. So yeah, this is simply to get a slightly different colour other than black for a base coat. I'm going to be using a Shabty Bone next, and we'll go from there. It's just to try and see if I can get a little bit of a different colouring on it. So you join me back with Gandalf starting to shape up. So what I've done here is simply a Shabty Bone with 2 layers to get a nice smooth colour, and then it's all covered in Seraphim Sepia. I'm now going to go through and kind of go over all the major bits with the Shabty Bone again, and then I'm going to try and recess shade again, just to pick out some of the details if I lose it a bit, and keep all the shape to the cloak. and try and make it look as good as possible. And then I'll use a shabty bone and pallid witch flesh mix for the outer layers, and then I'll use a brighter white for the inners. And here's an update for you. I have, after the Seraphim Sepia wash, I then used a kind of 50-50 mix of pallid witch flesh and a shabty bone to create a brighter bone colour. Then I used pallid witch flesh, still with that little bit of creamy colours. And then I kind of did the very raised bits in the edges and a little bit of the cloth in white scar. So as you can see, it's come out really well so far. I'm really happy with it. Really happy with it. So it's really showing the definition when you turn and everything. And now I have simply given the bits that will be pure white an undercoat of Mechanica Standard Grey. And then I'm going to go through Dawnstone, Administratum Grey, and then White Scar itself, with no Pallid Witch Flesh or Shabty Bone in there. I may also, and then on some points I will use a Null Oil wash, recess wash, and probably with some Lamia Medium just so it's not so dark. These are coming on really well. It's basically the last bits. I'm going to do all the white robe and then move on to his hair and face by themselves. And then the staff I will simply, very simply, do with white scar. And try and make it as white as possible. So that's the plan. I hope you're enjoying these as they're coming on. I'll catch you. So a bit more of an update. And the white has gone on. As before, I've gone from Mechanicus to Standard Grey to Dawnstone to Administratum Grey, and now I've just applied 2 coats of white scar. So you can see it's nice and bright. Next is to thin down some Null Oil, quite a lot with Lamia Medium, and then just get it so I can get more definition on the cloak and whatever, and on the staff head. I'll probably dry brush that again just in case, and his boots. And then that's Gandalf pretty much done, and it's just the skin, glandering, his belt and his hair to do, which obviously in the list sounds quite a lot, but it's not that bad. And the whites come out quite well. The only thing is when I stripped and based these models, there's bits of, like, little grains of sand everywhere, but that doesn't really matter to me. Dettol was a bit sticky. I'm quite happy with how these are coming out. So yeah, it's just getting on and finishing. And here we are. The final finished version of Gandalf foot mounted. I'm really happy with how the foot one came out. Really happy. If I bring him closer, because I'm right on the edge of my desk, and it will hopefully focus on him. Really happy with how he came out. The skin, like pretty much all of my skin on my characters, is Kislev Flesh, Reikland Flesh Shade, and then Kislev Flesh again. The hair was Administratum Grey with a Null Oil wash, then a dry brush of Administratum Grey, and then just on the top of Gandalf's head, you might be able to see it better on this one. See kind of the little blend if I kind of block the light a bit. And that's because I did a bit of white scar dry brush on the very top of his head as well. I've done exactly the same on the mounted version. Really happy with how the faces are looking. The faces are looking awesome, especially from where I am. They might not come out on the camera as well, but I'm really happy with them. So yeah, these are all fun. And then the sword was a Runefang steel with a normal wash on it. So they're all done. So if we pan them all together, get a nice little lineup. We've got Aragorn, and finally Legolas. Oh, really happy with how they come out. They look great from back here. It will be to do the bases at some point. However, there is a local tournament coming up in Gloucestershire, in Cheltenham, I think, with some of the GSHL guys, the Gloucester Hobbit League. and it's coming up in about a month, 3rd of June. And I've playtested with Luke a little bit today, a little list. And so instead of getting on with my Army of Thrall like I was going to, I am now going to paint something else. And I think I might do a kind of month hobby vlog, detailing it all, because it'll all be similar to the Easterling thing, so I'll give you a gradual update. I might do kind of more in-depth stuff when I get to the heroes, but I'm not going to let people know. I'm going to be semi-competitive. It's a pure list. I generally only take pure lists unless it's dropping other heroes in. So it's a pure list, something I've wanted to get painted for ages and just never had a reason to. So now I've got a reason to, and it's going to paint up a 500-point army. So if you've liked this video and want to see any more progress, future progress, please comment, like, share and subscribe. Go and like our Facebook page, and we'll see you soon.